Does fear of wondering what you're going to talk about at book club meetings get you a little bit apprehensive and afraid to start? Well, don't worry, I've got you covered. With this series, we've been going step by step. We've created an outline so you know exactly what you're going to talk about every single time that you meet up with your group. Now, this week, we're on to week 4 of your book club. And what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about conflict. Now, a lot of times people mix up what the conflict and the plot of the story is. The plot is going to be an overall um, theme of what's going on, and it's going to encompass everything about your story. It's the summary of the whole book. The conflict, though, this is the main problem that is going to have to be solved by your protagonist. Now, last week we talked about who the protagonist and the antagonist might be in your story, and leading kids in discussions and talking about how to hone in on who those characters might be. Now, this week, you'll get in there, you'll start talking about what is that main problem. Your protagonist is going to be pushing forward in action. The antagonist is going to try to hold them back. Whatever that action is that they're pushing forward, that plan, that agenda that they're trying to do, that is most likely going to be encompassing the big problem, the conflict of the story. Now, it gets very hard sometimes to tell whether or not you're dealing with the main problem or if this is a little problem along the way. Good stories, good authors, they always throw in some little problems just to build up to that big one. Otherwise, the story's a little boring, and those little problems are usually building personal character into your protagonist and building them up to who they need to be to actually tackle that big problem. So give the kids time to discuss this back and forth. Make sure to try to bring out different voices so that you're not always hearing just from one kid or another kid, and try to get different ones, just giving simple ideas. And then I like to get them on a board, put them on a whiteboard. And then if you do have some kids who are still too shy to give ideas, this is a great time to ask them to vote and just get the whole group to start voting on, do you think it's this problem or this problem, and going from there. And that can be another really great way to get them comfortable with starting to talk within a big group like this, or a small group, whatever size your book club is. So, along with talking about the conflict, on this week, I also like to introduce one literary device. So, the idea with a literary device is there are these techniques that authors use to introduce new concepts, to bring about a feeling, to kind of put you on the edge, to waiting to hear what's going to happen next. It's just tools that they use, and certain authors have certain techniques that they like to use more than others, so they become kind of known for it. So it's just a great way to kind of add a little nugget of information in there for the kids, and it's kind of another thing for them as they're kind of acting like detectives as they go through the story, hunting out these different themes to see if they can start to notice literary devices. Now, if you're coming into this and you do not have an English background and the idea of a literary device, you're sitting there like, what are you talking about? I do not even know. I've actually helped you out, and I created a printable. This is a 3-page printable, and it just has dozens and dozens and dozens of different types of literary devices that can be used. And so it's in alphabetical order, and it's going to tell you a definition of what that literary device is, and it's going to give you an example. So I'm going to go off the first one, which is probably a bad idea because it's an alliteration, so the description of that is the repetition of initial consonant sounds in closely placed words. So the example, and this is why this is probably a bad choice, would be Sally sells seashells by the seashore. So the alliteration has a repetitive first letter. So that could be a tool that your author uses, and it would be a fun one for them to hunt out. Some of the others that we've done, I like to start out with onomatopoeia, just because it's fun to get the kids to say onomatopoeia. And what that is it's when they have written out a sound like zip, boom, pow. That's onomatopoeia. Another great literary device that you see a lot of times in mysteries and stuff like that is a lot of foreshadowing. So foreshadowing, they're giving you a hint at something that's coming up. So I'm going to read, just to give you an example. Over the summer, I read The Secret Garden with the kids. And so I remember there was some foreshadowing in here. So I'm just going to read a couple sentences just to give you an example. Um, so it says, at first she could not tell what it was. Then she saw it was meant for a nest with a bird sitting on it. Underneath were the printed letters, and they said, I will come back. And that is the end of that chapter. That's how it ends it. So that right there is foreshadowing. It has you on your seat because you know that this character, this person, whoever it might have been in that circumstance, they will return. So it's giving you a hint of something that's going to come in the future. So along with talking about our conflict and our literary devices, if you've been following along the series, you know that there are a couple other elements that we like to add into each book club. We have our welcome. We go into just going around the group and asking the kids one thing that stood out to them. And if they are too shy or they can't think of something because they're on the spot, then you can just simply ask them, um, who's your favorite character, or who's a character that you don't like right now. Just the practice of trying to get them to say one thing. So by the time you have discussed that, and then you can do a snack, we like to do popcorn, and then it's up to you, but you could do a hands-on activity. Then that pretty much is going to sum up your whole meeting for week 4, and it will have been a great conversation and no sweat. It was easy peasy. So as we go further in the series, I'm actually going to have one week where I just go over all the different types of hands-on activities and some of the things that we're doing. And also, I'm just now getting into the world of creating some shorts. So I just posted this week one short where I kind of quickly walk through our book club and kind of give you a little bit of an idea of what it looks like. I'm very new at this, and so these are some rusty shorts. So hopefully they're going to get better. But I just thought it would be kind of fun to give you a little bit of a day-to-day feel for what it actually looks like. And so hopefully you enjoy that. So in the show notes, this printable, I'm going to have the link on there. The printable is going to be in my Teachers Pay Teachers site. It's going to be free. So I'll put the link. There's several other freebies that are in there to help you plan and get prepared. The past videos have it in their show notes, but if you just follow the link for this one, it's going to take you right there. And right there on that homepage, you'll see all the different resources that I'm making available for you. And I'm telling you what, if I had this back when I first started a book club, this would have been fantastic. So I really hope that this stuff's going out there into the world and it is helping somebody, and that this is going to be a game changer for you. And if you were on the fence and wondering, can I do this? That hopefully between these videos and the resources, you are feeling very confident right now. So I hope that you like and subscribe and share these videos. And when we come back next week, we'll be talking about our next meeting, what we'll be doing, which actually is week 5. So there'll only be 2 more weeks and you will have made it all the way through your book. Have a great day.